So creationists are, Bobby Jindal has given them money, and 11 states altogether, and they're trying to get, money in all the states. The people who put this together is called Accelerated Christian Education. This one, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on just a second. Excuse me. It's that time of year, I guess. Anyhow, the people who put this thing together, it's called Accelerated Christian Education, claim that their curriculum is used in 192 countries and 6,000 schools worldwide. That's frightening. Again, I have no objection to this kind of stuff being taught in Sunday school. I mean, it's just fine. It's the appropriate place for it. In some other Sabbath day, sacred day school, somebody is being taught that you shouldn't wear clothing made out of two different kinds of fabric. Or somebody else is being taught, in some other religion, is being taught that it's a violation of the First Commandment to have a picture of the prophet. And somebody else is being taught that, the universe grew out of the navel of, it wasn't Shiva, who was it? Whoever it was. Anyhow, out of a lotus flower that came out of the navel of the head god. And somebody else is being taught that, maybe there's not even a God. Like the Buddhists, right? But Buddha really, he was enlightened. He knew that everything is all one thing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like, I don't have a problem with any of that stuff being taught. Somebody's, probably teaching their kids about the flying spaghetti monster, although I'm guessing everybody does it tongue-in-cheek, but who knows? But I just have to play this for you. You can play audio through the board from my computer, right? Machino? Okay, we had a computer crash earlier today. This is Megyn Kelly on Fox News. Listen to this. This is from yesterday.
Move on, because I want to get to this other topic. So in Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed, and I said, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa. And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But, Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids. Okay, I wanted to get that straight. But Jedediah, when I read the piece, the author...
So anyhow, then she gets into, how the author of this piece grew up black and said, there was no Santa there for me. I mean, I just kind of felt like I was on the outside. And her first guest, and therefore let's replace Santa with a penguin. And her first guest says, I don't have such a problem with the penguin thing. I think, that's kind of a cool idea. And you read the piece and you really get it, that it must be tough growing up black in a world where Santa is white. And then Megyn Kelly comes back with this.
Jesus was a white man too, but it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that. Yes. But my point is, how do you just revise it?
Okay, so now I really don't believe that Megyn Kelly's a smart woman. I don't believe that she's asserting that Santa was a historical figure. She's saying, for you kids. I mean, this is Fox News. They're going out of their way to make sure that if there's a 5-year-old in the room who's watching TV, that that their illusions of Santa Claus are not shattered. And I actually remember when I was around 6 or 7, it's one of my earliest memories. My parents took me for a ride, and because I had 3 younger brothers at that point in time, or 2 younger brothers, and so they took me out alone, take me for a ride. It was just before Christmas time, to tell me that there was no Santa, and invite me to help them organize Christmas for my 2 younger brothers. And I think they figured out, they thought that I had figured it out by then, but I hadn't. And I remember being shattered by, what, there's no Santa? I mean, just shattered. And you wonder what kind of, lifetime consequence that revelation has for some kids. What, my parents have been lying to me all these years? My entire culture has been lying to me? I think I'll join the SDS. I mean, it's like, is there a cause-effect relationship? I don't know. But in any case, Megyn Kelly, she's trying to make sure the kids are not hurt by this. I think, frankly, kids who are old enough to consume Fox News or talk radio probably have already figured this out. I'm not so worried about it, frankly, right now. But in any case, so I don't think that she's asserting so much that Santa actually is a definite historical figure. Maybe St. Nicholas. But here's the thing. St. Nicholas was a Turk. Turks have dark skin. You wouldn't call them African American, but Turkey is, and Turkey is arguably at the very southern part of Europe rather than the northern part of Africa. But Jesus was born in the Galilee, which is like the south part of the Middle East, which is like right abutting to Egypt, which is northern part of Africa. And Jesus was almost certainly not an Ashkenazi Jew. He was a Sephardic. He was almost certainly somebody who looked Semitic, who looked more like, the modern day Iraqis and Afghans and people who in some places, like on Fox News, would be described as people of color. Not necessarily dark color, but color. So what's the deal? Why do white people feel so strongly that they have to hang on to white Santa Claus? What's wrong with acknowledging, A, that Santa Claus could be any color for anybody, because he's not a historical figure, he's a cultural creation, and B, that Jesus, who, even the historical evidence for the existence of Jesus as he stands, and some would argue is fairly weak, but whatever, that Jesus wasn't at least a Northern European wasp, the way that he's characterized in so many crucifixes and paintings and things.